Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Ruben Perez Jr. from EntertainmentRocks.com, and we're here con un chingon, a total badass. His name is Danny Ramirez, and he stars in the brand new, well, it's already on there, but it's already available for streaming on Disney+. Plus. It is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Aquí está Danny Ramirez. How are you?
What's up, Ruben? You just hyped me up so much. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I'm gonna start introducing myself every room I walk in like that.
No, most definitely. And I know that you're starring in the brand new Marvel show. We'll talk about that right now. How has quarantine been for you?
It's been interesting because I think it's everyone went through the same phases and waves, you know. And in the beginning, I was like, I gotta learn everything. I gotta learn the piano. I gotta learn how to I gotta read all these books. I gotta learn the French. So, and then the wave of just like a different type of serenity kind of came through of like, okay, I got to find myself in a different way instead of searching. So I think a lot of my friends and people that weren't friends, I think a lot of people went through these similar waves of just, what is it that you do with all this time that you have? And then now I think it's definitely balanced me out as a person. So it's been a blessing I think it's been a tough blessing. And I've come at it from my first year of like being able to like pay for my own rent, really. So it's like it all kind of aligned in like, okay, I know that I'm privileged in this moment, so let me best serve myself at this moment to then best serve people later on. So it kind of was this beautiful kind of experience.
For sure. It's been a crazy year, 2020, but like we're on 2021 now, and like there's so much happening for you. Like for example, on Disney Plus series, Marvel and Disney Plus series, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What can you tell me about your character, but without spoiling anything? Because I know we're coming up on the season finale, and people are anxious. I've been reading online on Twitter specifically, like all these conspiracy theories, and I'm just like,
yeah. Well,
what can you tell me?
I haven't seen the season finale, so who's to say really what's gonna happen? But I think my character, I was inspired a little bit of what he is in the comics, knowing that it's not the exact same character per se that's going to cross over from the comic books to the MCU, but there was something special about him in the comics that had this spark and this joy and this way of life that kind of was like this pure, just like taking everything in, and was and is kind of a badass, but like in this like in a very interesting light way so far. So I think, yeah, and I knew how important the character would be to like, as things unfold. But yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited to see the season finale or series finale. I don't even know. Like these are things that I don't like. Every week I'm experiencing it when you guys are experiencing it. But
definitely. Yeah. And what can you tell me about working on a Marvel series? Because like Marvel doesn't do series until like now. So what is it like going?
Well, I've actually been able to do 2 series for Marvel. One was The Gifted, where I played Wes, who's a mutant. So it was cool to have done that and seen creatively what Marvel is about, but seeing the Falcon and Winter Soldier and how that operated, and that was more MCU, more the cinematic universe. Then it felt like going into this big family that knew how it worked, and everyone knew everyone, and they had known each other for years. So being the newcomer, I was like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. But everyone embraced me with open arms. They guided me through it. We had a bunch of fun moments. So I think it's definitely been a beautiful experience so far, across the board.
For sure. And do you have any behind the scenes secrets of filming the TV series?
Behind the scenes secrets? Well, I can't tell you secrets, but I'll tell you.
No. Well, any rituals that you guys have, like you eat donuts before you film a scene, something like that.
No, I think one of the most, I really enjoy when people tell stories really well. You know, like when somebody stands in the middle of a room and just like everyone's like, they take somebody on the journey. Anthony's really good at that. Anthony could just be in the middle of the room and just come up with a story or remember a story an interaction he had on the street. And then when he starts talking to people about it, like he takes them on the journey, which is so fascinating because like I think that was something that was always happening. So you'd always have Anthony with like a group of like 5 or 10, just like guiding them through this story. and then you see that in his character as well. So yeah, that's one of the more interesting things that were happening, and yeah.
And speaking of Anthony, I mean, how was it like working with Anthony? He's amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's that article that came out that he basically, if you want to get nominated for an Oscar, you just act opposite of him. That's basically so much of the scenes we did were the way that Kari directed us into like just kind of like saying, play. You guys know your characters well enough, like let's see what happens. So I think that so much of that the scene when we're sipping on some tea and he's and when we first bring up the flag smasher, stuff like that, it would come up because of the dynamic of how we would talk and when we felt it was natural to jump in and you see that same dynamic even more so with Sebastian and him, that they just know how they work so well. So it does feel alive and it doesn't feel like they're just saying lines on the page. You know, it feels like, no, that's two people that are like, I wouldn't say they're friends. I'm kidding, they're friends. But like that it's got this this aliveness to it that is what we search for in storytelling all the time. You know, like we're yearning for real moments, and I think they've peppered it through the entire show.
Definitely. So guys, that's all the time we have left. I am Ruben Perez, #rocks.com, #rocks. That is the amazing, the wonderful, the total chingon, Danny Ramirez. Be sure to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, now streaming on Disney Plus. That is Danny Ramirez, and we're gonna find out what happens next to his character during the season finale or series finale. Who knows? Watch.
I do want one of those in the back. The Joaquin one would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see you guys. Bye.